Good morning, everyone. Let's look at the ways that we can be as adults around the children who are with us at the present time. So we looked at the first stage from 0 to 7. Children predominantly are looking for imitation, and that is how they learn imitation of words, gestures, attitudes, thoughts, actions, you name it. They imitate it. From 7 onwards till about 14 years of age is when children, the faculty of imagination is developing. There is elements of imitation that exist. However, learning through imagination is predominant. So giving the right food for them to think about when they're lost in their own worlds becomes important. And also us as adults, teachers or parents, being this loving authority. It's not just the authority, that I'm in control, you listen to me. It is a loving authority where I am or I assert because I know this is good for you, or I'm willing to change my way of doing things if my way of doing things isn't working with you, or being aware that yes, I'm in control just because I'm supposedly wiser, but I'm firm, but I am coming from that space where the child will feel comfortable to be themselves. That's loving authority. So giving the right material for children to ponder upon and being that person who is approachable, no matter what the child does, feels, thinks, and can share with us, becomes a very essential element for the healthy development of the child through the second stage. Then we have a third stage from 14 onwards till 21, where the children are seeking truth, where children are wanting the adults who walk their talk to set an example for them. Children are willing to take responsibility, their faculty of judging things, deciding, doing things on their own, experimenting, exploring, are all at its peak. But they also need someone that they can look up to, who's also practicing those, who's also upholding the similar kind of beliefs, or who is at least available to debate and discuss why certain things aren't right and why certain things could be right. I personally think that none of us are right all the time. What's right for me may definitely be not be right for my children, my class, my colleagues. That is why when I start asserting that just because I'm in a certain position of authority, I assert my things are right, things start falling apart. You could look at it in any organization, if I'm a coordinator or a subject head or principal, whatever the position that I'm holding. And if I'm asserting this is the way you do things, without actually debating, discussing, taking other opinion into consideration, then people don't do what we are thinking they should be doing. Children are exactly like that. They would want certain kind of autonomy, yet they want to fall back on this responsible adult so they could have this support when they pitch forward. And when they do mistakes, they don't have any fear of hiding it, escaping from it, making up something else, lying about it. So there's a lot of it depends on us as adults throughout all the 3 stages of child's development. No, there is not one point that we can say, now you know it, go do it for the child. They may look physically as big as us, they may act more mature than us, and in some aspects they could be more mature than us. However, it's important for us to stay in integrity, for us to heal our own traumas, for us to refine, transform, transcend our own blocks every single day. I cannot emphasize this enough. Somewhere when I start healing, it will take a long time, but if I do start healing, if I do start talking about my healing process with my children, becoming vulnerable, it has a huge impact on children, on anybody around me, because I'm willing to hearing it out. I'm willing to listen to what you think about me, how my actions are affecting you. And we need to develop that courage within me. I mean, all of us mostly are hiding, escaping, getting angry, covering ourselves up, whatever, because deep down, we are not happy with who we are. We are worried that something will get exposed and it's not acceptable. And all of us are going through the same similar boat, one or the other thing. So at some point, if we could begin working on it, talking about it, that is when we truly become respectable. Children begin respecting us. I mean, these days we do hear that children don't even care for the teachers or parents or whatever. There is a reason for it. We have created that environment for them. So we'll discuss a few things that we could be doing on daily basis to become aware of our own selves a little bit more, because everywhere you see, I am the center point. So it becomes important for me to work on myself, irrespective of how my colleagues are, my family members are. There is no hidden agenda attached to it. It's just that I want to change. So we have to begin with being aware, self-awareness, where you'll have to stop yourself in the beginning, probably every hour or so, to check how you're feeling. What is it that you're thinking? Are you getting irritated with the sounds around you? Are you getting frustrated because somebody said something? Are you carrying any baggage because somebody said something to me yesterday? So all this is what I have to keep in mind when I work with myself. Checking on myself would be one of the steps that we will have to do. And if you can write about it, fantastic. If you cannot write about it, at least stop for a few seconds. Literally stop. Stop doing what you're doing. Stand where you are. And you could come up with any excuse if you think people are wondering why you stopped or whatever. But it's an extremely important tool for you to become aware. You could set alarms for yourself, every minute, every hour. When the alarm goes off, just stop and think what's going on in your head. And typically we are going in circles that we are not even aware of. And because we are lost in that thought process, what I am doing right now isn't getting 100% of my attention. And if I don't do what I'm doing right now with 100% attention, then definitely I'm not going to be engaged with that activity. And that has its own repercussions, that I don't do it well. I am not happy about showcasing that thing to somebody else. Then I want to hide it or pretend that I've done it well or defend that at least I'm doing so much. Nobody else is doing anything. All those are just escape mechanisms, survival mechanisms. So yeah, we probably have developed some of those because we didn't know any better. But now that we know that I'm the pivot and everybody is kind of looking at me, especially being a teacher, it's time that we begin to progress. So self-aware will lead to self-care. It is not selfishness, but it is self-care. Self-care is, to begin with, very, very simple. Drink when you're thirsty. Don't ignore the thirst. And we all do it. We do not want to carry the water bottle. I have done it. It's an additional thing. So it's okay, 40 minutes, let me come back and drink. And then you have back-to-back class and we forget drinking. Going to the bathroom when we feel we have to. We ignore it. Eating right, eating nutritious, eating balanced meals, we ignore it. I mean, we do so much for others, we don't have time for ourselves. We kind of ignore it. Exercising, moving around consciously, being aware of what I speak, not just out of frustration and anger, but deliberate the speech. Think about it before you speak. All this becomes self-care. Wearing pressed clothes, wearing the clothes neatly, carrying everything that you think you might need, like handkerchief or a moisturizing lotion, or a spoon to eat with, or a disposable napkin, whatever that is, to be prepared, to feel comfortable in all the circumstances. We'll have to build it one by one if we really have ignored ourselves. And just because I'm lazy to cook, I'll eat some leftovers. It's okay not to waste food and eat leftovers. But if that is some habit out of tired, taking break for yourself once in a while, having friends outside the family, outside the school culture, being with people who think high in life or aligned with life, listening to some nice music, singing soulful music. All these are some things that we have to pay attention to and consciously do it on regular basis. It's not that I met a friend 3 months ago and I don't need anybody anymore. I'm too busy right now. I have to finish doing these things. But trust me, when we do take time to meet up somebody worthwhile, our efficiency, our interest in life multiplies. So we come back more energetic to do more interesting things. Else we are stuck with the same rut day in and day out, which is dampening. So become self-aware and begin self-care. on regular basis, on daily basis, when you start doing, when you start taking care of yourself, definitely children are going to see you. Why is ma'am stopping every hour and just standing there with her eyes closed for 5 seconds? I wonder why. I've seen her once. Yeah, I've seen her too. You know, so somewhere children, one of them will have the courage to come and ask you, and why do you do it? And then you say, oh, I just want to get myself back together. And closing eyes helps me. And child will be like, oh, I'm lost too. Maybe this will help. That is how you become a role model and worthy of imitation. And once we are confident, I mean, this would take a long time, especially if you are so habituated of ignoring yourself, because our society has conditioned us, taking care of yourself, being selfish. You should put others first before you. You cannot just be thinking about yourself. We have heard this thousands of times, and we pass on the same thing to children too. Wait for everybody to come and join. Yeah, there are certain things you definitely want to wait. When you go to a restaurant with your friends, your food arrives first. You don't want to just jump at it and start eating, because the purpose is not to eat it hot, but to eat it with friends. So your priority changes. But then you have also seen people who just don't care for people around them, be it their family, be it their friends, colleagues, whatever. They are just so lost in their own selves. So we are not talking about selfishness. We are talking about self-care. And that is what you would start paying attention to. With that comes you being authentically yourself. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to be meek in front of people who you think are above you, and be dominant in front of people who think who are under you. We are who we are, no matter who is around me. That is when we really garner the respect. That is when we muster the command. We have the courage. Otherwise, we are acting according to the situation. That again does not mean, okay, I'm angry right now for some reason and I'm going to stand here and shout it all out. No, it doesn't mean that. You do have to process whatever you're feeling. Why are you feeling it? Is it because somebody was really wrong? Or is it because some memory of yours got triggered that was buried deep inside? And once you're able to deliberate it even for a few seconds, you will not be bursting away or turning your face and walking away when somebody says something, or you see somebody doing something. That requires very conscious practice. For example, I get very irritated when the food truck that I have gets all crumpled up. People walk on it and they don't even think of putting it back, because it doesn't have rubber backing, so it doesn't stay in one place, kind of moves around. So they don't put it back. Just this morning, I realized, okay, rather than getting angry and setting it up every time it's messed up, this is an opportunity for me to refine my reaction. So correct it. It is not just one food truck, you see, there are so many such things that are irritating me. If it is little too hot, it's irritating, little too cold, it is irritating, dogs barking, it's irritating. All these very, very trivial things in life that we get agitated for. and being able to refine, because I'm living in that society. I'm not living on a mountain where there is nobody around me. So what's the point in being reactive? See, every time there is a reaction, a strong reaction, there is a chemical that's released in my body to fight that situation. But I'm not really fighting that situation. It's just in my head. But the chemical stays in the body. And for it to run out, I will have to be expending that energy in jumping, fighting, and doing something physically. That is why it was released, but I don't do any of it. It just stays, and I'll never recover from it because there is something else that triggers my anger again, and something else that comes up that irritates me again. So there's back-to-back release of these chemicals which accumulate in our body, which will eventually put me in this unstable situation physically. So unaddressed emotional thoughts or the triggers, the reactions, eventually will lead to physical dis-ease. And that could be as simple as hair fall, could be some irritation patches, allergies, the itches, simple level, the constipation, acidity, and in a big ways it could even turn into a cancer. And if we come to know that, okay, my being the way I am, it's just not because people around me can imitate me, children around me can look up to me. It is also for me to remain in balance so I don't attract this diseases. It is more for my own growth rather than just being that role model. But somewhere I need to begin feeling the need for this. Because I am suffering on a minute by minute basis. I am unable to focus. I'm unable to remain calm. I'm unable to remain grounded. I'm unable to say no to certain things. I'm unable to take responsibility for the children who have chosen me. There's so many inabilities that have accrued just because I have not given myself some time to reflect on daily basis. So being self-aware, leading to self-care, will help us become authentic self. Authenticity doesn't mean I'll just speak out whatever comes to my mind. You will know when to speak, how much to speak, and when to not speak, when it is better to just shut up, because it also depends on people around you. And that is when children shut up, when they know that adults around me cannot solve my problems, will not understand my problems. They will not even share with us. And we have done the same thing. We have shut up as well to a certain extent to different kinds of people in our lives. And that is not being authentic. And we as outsiders look at all the people you have in your life and look at them and say, oh, this person I cannot trust, because they'll just say yes, but will never do. And this person will not even say yes, but they will just do. Just talk before them, it will get done. This person, I can give a task to them and they will let me know if they can do it or if they cannot do it. If they do tell me they can do it, they will definitely get it done. I can totally trust that person. And this person, if they're not able to do, they will somehow get it done. So I know the job will be done. So there is again that great trust. So all of us behave differently. But then many of us hide because we don't want to be bad. We don't want people to think that we are bad. We don't want to be rejected. So we just put this happy face and never say no. We are people pleasing. That's not being authentic. You could be pleasing and authentic. So whatever I'm saying, just ponder upon it. It is not that this is the right way and this is the only way. There are many, many shades, and right within one family, two siblings cannot be the same, who are raised by the same set of parents, the same economic conditions, in the same social setup. Every one of us is very, very unique, and there is no one perfect solution. However, we are all inching towards being that grounded, well, being that neutral person, especially as teachers and parents. The children can come to me, because everyone is going through the same thing and everyone is trying to cover up, everyone is hiding, everyone is trying to escape. Then there is no authenticity in the whole society. I really don't know. I mean, how many of you have felt, you have something to be repaired? So you call up a carpenter and he'll say, yes, madam, I'll be there in 1 hour. Do you really think he'll be there in 1 hour? And we know, and he also knows. So you call him back in half an hour more. Are you coming? He says, yeah, I'm stuck somewhere, so I will come in 1 hour. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he does not come. So are you coming? No, I really am out of town. I'm not getting bus. There is flooding out here. I'll come tomorrow. How many of us have gone through this on daily basis? And do you see children also doing the same thing? Now, how many of us have written incomplete in the notebooks, reminding children to complete it? But there is no really that responsibility that the child feels, because somewhere they're imitating the adults around them. It may not be me. It may not be me as a mother, or me as a sister, me as a teacher. It could be someone else who is equally significant in their life. But amongst all this, if they see an authentic person, a self-aware person, a person who takes care of themselves, and all of us want to be that. I want to speak my heart out. I want to be just the way I want to be, not be pushed into sitting on the stage or sitting off the stage. Want to be heard without the fear of being ridiculed or judged. All of us want that. So if there can be at least one role model in anybody's life, then I will be a totally different person. And that is what we need to work on ourselves. If I want to see the change in the community around me, in the students around me, I mean, if the whole school, if every teacher, every parent is like that, beautiful. That was Sat Yuga, where everybody was truly themselves, without the pretense, without the lurings of the materialistic world, without this competition, status, etc., etc. But within me, I can still establish that. That is one of the ways to be integrated with what I say, what I speak, what I act. And then I obviously, it's like a natural byproduct, the courage to be brave, to speak up when something is wrong, according to me. But then you prove it to me that it is not wrong, then I'm also humble enough to accept it. When I become that kind of a person, approachable, irrespective of what I've done, that I truly get the attention from students. You say it and it gets done because everybody is wanting that kind. It's like a magnet, you know. You become that magnet. And obviously, that element of iron in every one of us is attracted towards it. And sometimes you may have experienced it yourself. I don't know why I like that person, but I really like to hang out around that person. And if you look at people who have accomplished a lot, they really don't speak. You just go sit in their satsang, just sit with them. You don't have to listen, you don't have to talk, you don't have to ask questions, just sit and come. You feel so much better. And because that's the energy of one person affecting the others. And we want to be that. That's the purpose why we are spending these morning hours, waking up early, and coming together. We are creating a kind of satsang in our own way. So please begin working to becoming aware, to caring for yourself, and to be your authentic